The newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Bureau of Corrections has laid down plans to close the new Bilibid prison by 2028. Bucor Chief Gregorio Catapang told 1PH that they plan to transfer Bilibid inmates to regional facilities as part of efforts to decongest prisons. Bucor is targeting to relocate at least 7,000 inmates this year. The Bureau is planning to convert the 357-hectare detention facility in Muntinlupa into a commercial area as means to fund regional prisons.
Mag-create po tayo ng regional prison and penal farm sa Pilipinas. And then itong Bilibid prison, yung lahat ng inmates po, ililipat na natin sa kanya-kanyang region. This year po, maglilipat ako ng mga 7,000.
Now, in other news, lawmakers are looking to revisit the government's K-12 program amid issues on the employability of graduates. Camille Samonte with the report.
Senators believe that it's high time for lawmakers to review the curriculum of the K-12 program. They note that many of its promises remain unfulfilled, including that of employment after graduation.
Sabi natin, yung mga graduate ng K-12, kahit di na sila magkolehiyo, magkakaroon sila ng oportunidad makapagtrabaho. Ngayon, marami pa rin hindi tumatanggap ng hindi college graduate.
For Senator Sonny Angara, the K-12 program must continue, but this must undergo review and should also allow the granting of certifications to students, like those for technical vocational graduates.
That's one aspect of it, no? Yung sa employer side. Walang certification ng pamahalaan sa kasalukuyan. So paano malalaman ano yung skill level nung sa employer side? Paano malalaman ano yung kasanayan, ano yung galing nung tatanggapin mong empleyado?
Senator Grace Poe is also pushing for a review of the program, following a report from the Commission on Human Rights that K-12 graduates during the pandemic are struggling to find jobs. Poe says the curriculum has been around for a decade and it's about time to reassess its benefits. She adds the review must also determine if the coursework taken on by students is aligned with the requirements of businesses for their employees.
Kasi maraming mga nag-aaral pero pag-graduate nila, yung kanilang natutunan, hindi naman angkop. May mga ibang networks nga dyan. Kumonte na talaga yung mga employees nila, di ba? And they can function.
For now, the Education Department says it will release its draft curriculum guidelines for the Kinder to Grade 10 programs, or K-10, this year, following a review on its curriculum. Its review of the K-12 program, meanwhile, which covers senior high school, is still ongoing.
So in the next 3 weeks, we're releasing all K-10 curriculum guides across all learning areas, which the Department of Education has never done in the past. So we want the public, the academe, organizations to look at our curriculum before we finalize them. We don't want a DepEd curriculum. We want a Philippine curriculum that the public trusts.
For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. U.S. weather forecasters have issued an El Nino watch as triggers arise over the Pacific Ocean. The details in this Bloomberg Quick Take.
There is a spot along the equator in the Pacific Ocean that can change the weather almost anywhere on Earth simply by shifting less than a degree Celsius. This key region can mean the difference between floods and drought in California, hurricanes across the Atlantic, wildfires in Australia, mild winters in New York, or heat waves in Argentina. That's because the jet stream, the powerful winds that move weather systems around the globe, bend and snake depending on how the temperatures fluctuate across the Pacific. When the equatorial regions are warm, this is known as an El Nino. And when they are cool, it is called La Nina. The cycle itself, whether it is La Nina or El Nino, is called the El Nino Southern Oscillation, or ENSO. The actual mechanism behind El Nino and La Nina were only understood in the 1960s, and it wasn't until the 1980s and 90s that the true power of the phenomenon became clear when thousands of deaths and billions of dollars in losses were attributed to the natural disasters it caused. For the last 3 Northern Hemisphere winters, the Pacific has been locked in La Nina, only the 3rd time this has happened since 1950. This deepened drought across California, hit crops in Brazil and Argentina, and brought something of a snow drought to the large U.S. cities of the East Coast. The Pacific has gone back to its neutral state, and most computer forecast models suggest that it will start to warm later this year. If it does, an El Nino could form, which would mean a weaker hurricane season, and help for the crop regions of Brazil and Argentina. On the other hand, an El Nino could hurt coffee and cocoa crops in Sumatra and Vietnam. Tea production in Kenya could also be damaged by drought. The last time there was a powerful El Nino, conditions in the Pacific, as well as in the Indian Ocean, helped spur record wildfires across Australia and led to widespread drought.
The Health Department kicked off its Pista ng Kalusugan event in Quezon City on Saturday. Health lectures and free vaccinations are available to the public during the 2-day event. The event's goal is to urge Filipinos to practice the 7 healthy habits, which include eating right, getting vaccinated, and living sustainably. Now, free tuberculosis, HIV, and breast cancer screenings will also be available at the QC Circle until today.
Inaasahan namin na ito ay mangyayari din sa maraming panig ng bansa. Hindi kami titigil hanggat bawat Pilipino ay makukumpleto nila ang 7 healthy habits.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 10:45 in the morning as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.